What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. That's the one, the only, Scott Savage. Scott, what's up, buddy?
That's right. Well, I'm trying to put Bolt Gun away so I can move on to more new games. We have Diablo coming soon.
Yeah. Happy early Diablo Day, Diablo 4 Day, I guess I should say, for everybody as of right now, because I know my brother cannot stop talking about it. We're gonna lose him, Scott. I think we've lost him as a siege carry. He's gonna be moving on. Oh, it's actually kind of us carrying him. No kills last night. Yeah, I called you on that one.
Hey, yeah, I got MVP.
Yeah, you did. And so did his buddy Mike. So that was cool to see. Dude, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun, as always. Lots of fun over here where people can join us live over on youtube.com/InsideTheGameOfficial, as well as twitch.tv/theofficialITG. But when we're not live, make sure to hit us up later. Check out those podcast services. Thanks to our friends over at Fired Up Network. You can hear us in your beautiful eardrums each and every day, as well as TV networks like Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, Game Plus, Rogers TV. We're everywhere around the world, so make sure you check us out there as well. Scott, today's show is the big one, because it never ends, because everybody's just clamoring to know more. GTA 6 Online may suffer at the hands of GTA 5. REDFALL's developers were hoping that the game would be canceled or maybe rebooted, and former DICE dev says Battlefield 2042 never stood a chance.
Oh, man. Yeah, a lot of negativity coming out between the cracks here.
What a show. We're hopefully going to spin this around and make it a little bit more lighthearted, but as of right now, dude, today's show is a rough one. Let's get going, though. GTA 6 Online may reportedly suffer from long-lasting GTA 5 issues. This is Cade O'Donnell over at comicbook.com. GTA 6's online mode, tentatively known as GTA Online 2, may suffer from some of the issues that already exist in GTA 5. Grand Theft Auto 6 is probably one of the most anticipated games ever. Scott,
certainly on that list.
I was gonna say, it's pretty fair to say, I would think, right? Its predecessor is the second best-selling game of all time, and Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar Games' last game, is a technical masterpiece that was showered in praise upon release. Dude, that is one of the most beautiful games I have ever played to this day. Red Dead 2. How far did you ever get in Red Dead 2?
It's hard for me to say exactly, because I think I was probably about 60% through the game. But I get sidetracked and do a lot of side stuff, and I was hunting for hours and hours. So it's hard for me to say.
There's Kyle. He says ever. Dude, it was ever. Like the bar is high for GTA 6, and developers is taking its sweet time to make the game. No kidding. However, it may not be able to shake some issues that exist in the even popular 10-year-old game that is GTA Online. According to Rockstar Games insider Tez2 on the GTA forums, the Rockstar Games parent company Take-Two vetoed the idea of using dedicated servers for the next iteration of GTA Online. Tez2 went on to note that this could mean explosion shenanigans could still occur in GTA 6 due to the way explosions are streamed from the closest player in proximity to you. However, Rockstar has still been trying to counter these things with its own GTA Online updates, so it's possible it may not be that bad. Dedicated servers are often preferred by players as it enhances the performance of online games and minimizes things like lag, disconnects, and so on. Given the fact that GTA 5 is generated so much money, some have already been pretty critical of this rumor and suggest that Take-Two is doing some unneeded penny pinching. Scott, they have made more money than any of us can shake a stick at right now when it comes to GTA Online. I don't understand. Why are we not getting dedicated servers at this point?
Yeah, it's not something that's personally affected me at first, I thought. And I'm thinking back now on Xbox 360 days.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where I would have really appreciated dedicated servers because I was trying to get my friends in and we just could not coexist in the same instance, which was really, really strange. So, as silly as I think dedicated servers might be to the overall experience, it is there to benefit some people. I think the question lies, do you get mods? Is there unofficial kind of breaking of the game that happens in these servers? There must be some sort of reason why we have not seen them yet.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked, right? Because
Money glitches. I think it's probably money glitches online.
Do you remember those?
Oh, a guy running around dressed as a Christmas tree, dropping presents full of money. Wild.
There's just so much when it comes to the GTA Online opportunities here. When we get into that next iteration, GTA Online 2, what comes around? Dedicated servers, do you think would be something that they would pay attention to at this point? Rockstar is not known for kind of chimping out on too many things when it comes out to its biggest title. Like, this is GTA Online next iteration. We want to come out of the gate swinging. We've heard a lot of rumors of where GTA 6 is and kind of how that's going to fluctuate and things like that when it comes to the actual story, characters, leaks. So many leaks, man.
I'm wondering if we're going to see some game modes come into the online. Are we going to see an extraction shooter? Is there going to be a battle royale mode? Maybe not a dedicated game type, but
yeah,
it's 12 o'clock. Last man standing wins. One of those.
Yeah, for sure. They do have some of those smaller iterations, right? They do have so many other game modes in there. Kyle goes, should we download it again? Kyle, have I got news for you, dude? It is downloaded on my Xbox right now. If you are ready to go, download it. We are jumping back in. I want to get into those heists, and this is kind of going to bring me into the next thing. Scott, GTA 6 Online Heists 2.0. What do you think? Are we going to get them?
Oh, certainly. There must be, yeah. And they must take it and step it up bigger and better than before, all right? Neither of us have gotten to play neither of us have played the casino now. So I'm wondering how far it's been stepped up already in this generation.
OMG. Okay. He says, yeah, dude, I'm jumping in. I want back in. I want to get in.
I'm going
to
start the download and it'll probably be ready by the weekend.
Scott's new internet is a turtle. But
yeah, I live on a highway, but it's very rural.
But the online dedicated thing, it should be something that I can't believe Take-Two is not. Man, why wouldn't they do this? Take-Two should be stepping it up a little bit, right? Let Rockstar make the full-fledged game that they have plans that they want to do, which they normally do. And why? With good reason, is because it makes them so much money. So if you get us dedicated servers, we're not going to have the issues. You remember the issues when GTA Online launched?
Oh.
Man, that thing was broken, right?
I don't think I was able to play it for a whole year.
Nobody could play it for like the first 6 months. It was ridiculous. If you did get in, you were like blown away that you're actually in here going, how is this possible? And then you get in, and then you get booted.
The introduction race, I must have done a dozen times.
Yeah, exactly. So here we go. When we get into launching, whenever GTA 6 launches, we've heard rumors this year, possibly early 2024. But when we get into GTA 6 Online, you want it to come out and work. And if dedicated service will allow us to do that even easier, because what game doesn't come out now that is broken, doesn't work, needs a patch. Like, there's so many other issues when it comes to talking about launching a brand new game. Dedicated servers might help alleviate some of those issues that we always experience. That's the
That's
biggest
true,
thing for me.
actually. I'm thinking of another instance, Friday the 13th. Very, very broken
Uh,
matchmaking. Just absolutely did
yep.
not work for at least several months after release. And the way we could get it working was using the looking for game function in
Right.
Xbox. So you could essentially just partner up and make your own private lobby. And that's how it worked. So I really hope this actually is a feature, because that GTA 6 will have
So
maybe a
many
billion
people,
people on it day one. Yeah.
right? And how much are you going to be guaranteed that that is not going to work, right? Like, I would almost
Oh,
guarantee, dude, day one it launches, we don't get to play. Like, that's how
no,
that's going to come out of the gate.
I'm not expecting online day one.
Nah, that's just unfortunate. But speaking of unfortunate, Scott, let's talk about Redfall. Developers reportedly hoped it would be canceled or rebooted by Microsoft. The Bethesda project
Oh,
is said to have suffered from unclear direction and staffing issues. Tom Ivan over at VGC had this to say. A new report claims to shed light on the circumstances that resulted in Redfall's disappointing release last month. Following several delays, the first major Xbox exclusive from Bethesda released with a number of technical issues, that's minor to say, holy, and generally reviewed poorly, garnering aggregate scores of 56 for Xbox Series X and S and 54 PC on Metacritic. Redfall is a multiplayer looter shooter, a genre that's new to creator Arcane Studios, which is best known for its critically acclaimed single-player immersive sim like Dishonored and Prey. Dude, I played Dishonored this morning. I
I haven't
love
played.
that game.
I haven't played Prey yet. I think that's 2017 Prey. That's the
Yeah,
one
I didn't play Prey.
I really want to play it. I've only seen good things.
According to a new report, Bloomberg reports this: the game's development was hampered by a lack of clear direction. I think many kind of took note of that, Scott. A high turnover of
Mhm.
staff and insignificant resources for what was billed as a AAA game. The report is based on the accounts of over a dozen anonymous sources who worked on the title. Said the project started development in 2018 after being pitched to staff as a multiplayer Arcane game. Dude, how do you go from Dishonored to Prey to Deathloop? Now, granted, not Deathloop isn't for everybody, but Deathloop at the end of the day is a solid, functioning, well-made game. And then we get into Redfall, where it's just
Yeah,
been
just
falling on its face the entire time.
yeah, it seems to be such a mystery. It has to have been direction from the high ups. But then again, how does that issue happen? If these are seasoned veteran developers, how does this happen? And with somebody like Microsoft as oversight, it is really puzzling that it wasn't restarted or outright canceled at some point.
I can't believe it wasn't canceled, right? Some members reportedly found the pitch confusing and felt unsure that the sort of gameplay Arcane was known for would translate well to a co-op setting. The game reportedly suffered because its development team was continually understaffed, with Arcane Austin office employing fewer than 100 people and insufficient outsourcing support offered by Bethesda. Many experienced developers who weren't interested in making a multiplayer game reportedly left the studio, with almost 3/4 of the Austin staff who had worked on 2017's Prey said to have departed Arcane by the time Redfall was finished. Here's the thing, Scott. This is something we talk about often, right? Is when you make games, you make the games you want to make because that's what you enjoy. If you start making something that you don't enjoy, dude, if I was a game developer, the last game I would make is a horror game, right?
That's a good point.
Because I'm not interested in it. I don't want to do it. So here, Arcane doesn't have the backing of their own staff. Shouldn't that have told your team right there, the higher ups, and maybe change direction altogether?
Yeah, or does it have to be Arcane Austin? Are there other options, different offices that could have handled it in a different manner? But then again, you don't want to give up the project you've been entrusted with as well. So it's just an uncomfortable situation. Unfortunate.
Absolutely.
I was unable to play Redfall, and I don't know if I ever will. It will be a curiosity pick.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it. I think
I want to
somebody
support Arcane, and I want to kind of understand what's going on with them, but Yeah.
Yeah.
There's only so much I could put myself through it.
No, for sure. Northern Nerdcast says if this was supposed to be the massive AAA title and it failed, what does this mean for Starfield? Well, I think we have two different teams working on these titles. I think that's something to kind of keep in mind of right there, right? But yeah, it does make you kind of worrisome, right? What is the direction? When you do have Todd Howard, though, leading the charge for Starfield and his team over there, I'm a little bit more confident. But this is why we're getting a Starfield Direct at the end of the showcase on the 11th. So make sure you join us. We'll be live watching the whole Xbox showcase and the Starfield showcase. We're going to be there for what sounds to be about 2 hours. So hang out with us. And the biggest thing, I think, why they're doing this is because we need to know exactly what Starfield is. What are we getting into? Show us the nitty gritty a little bit behind the scenes without revealing too much, because we want to go out in there and explore, kind of like we're doing right now with Tears of the Kingdom. Dude, you basically just go. And I'm kind of hoping that's how Starfield's going to be, Scott.
I think it is. Yeah, it drops you just right into a whole big sandbox. And I really, really hope Starfield lands properly, because I want to see Bethesda do well. And Todd Howard inspires confidence, though. Well, so I am looking forward to it.
It's disappointing that one of my favorite studios of all time, being Arcane, puts out Redfall. When they showcased what they're making next, when this Redfall reveal came out, I went, what? I thought you already took a bit of a twist when you did Deathloop. And this is like this other twist in another direction altogether. And I was just kind of baffled going, this doesn't feel like the Arcane that we knew. And granted, teams evolve and move forward and want to experiment and try other things. I'm all for that, right? Look at Playground, right? We're not getting another Horizon game. We're getting Fable. Shocker out of that one, right? Like, that's right out of left field. So I can see them wanting to do this.
I hope they're passionate about Fable and what kind of game that is.
I think they are. I think there is a lot of passion over that team, and they're looking to try over and expand into something new. But it's for the development team alone to go, I don't want to work on this, has me concerned. I think when you take a look at Todd Howard's team and with Starfield, I think everybody wants to work on that. And I think the passion there is always a driving force in creating a better product. That's what happened with Redfall. Lack of direction, staff underwhelmed by the project itself, doesn't end in a good
just
game.
Kill the passion.
Yep, absolutely. Speaking of killing something, Scott, maybe they should have just killed Battlefield. Former DICE dev says Battlefield 2042 never stood much chance being great at launch. Well, then why launch the game? Again, this is where we keep coming back into these day one patch. We get into this, we get into why? Why are we doing this? Cyberpunk launches, disaster launch, right? Granted, over the course of 2 years, we got a brand new game, and now we have a fantastic game. Then you get into Redfall situation. We get into Battlefield, like more and more. Dude, The Last of Us remastered for PC is a disaster. Why are these things continually happening? We see what happens when the game sucks coming out the gate. So then don't do that. But let's get into
how many examples do we need before we just decide to do the right thing and delay or just cancel?
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Anderson over at Insider Gaming says a former DICE developer who worked at the developer for 13 years. I can say development studio for 13 years before leaving DICE recently took to Twitter to say that Battlefield 2042 never stood much of a chance at being great at launch. Oh, that is bad right there. The ex-senior software engineer at DICE, now at Epic Games as a senior back-end engineer, said the game had many iterations and the deadline never changed much. You have to adjust when things get readjusted. You can't just put out, okay, we're going to keep to the deadline, because now whatever you just adjusted or changed and modified, like, kind of messes with everything else, right? Like, everything needs to kind of fall into a place, and it clearly
is that what happened with Anthem, if I recall? Change in direction, but nobody was really of the same mind, I think, is what the problem was in that studio.
So I think what Anthem's problem suffered from was the lack of end game direction, right? They had what some would say was a decent story. I liked the story, I enjoyed the campaign, and I loved the mechanics behind the game in Anthem. What it didn't have was when the game ended, they tried to make a games of service, Scott. How often do we talk about games of service not working because there is no service at the end of the game?
No, yeah, they kind of just went, well, do it again. There'll be a raid soon.
Dude, that tyrant
Someday.
spider I did like 1,000 times. I'm like, I cannot do this again. It was
That's almost my only memory from that game is because I must have fought it a few times with you.
absolutely early leaks during Battlefield 2042's development, which originated from myself, he says, on a now
This is Tom
terminated.
Henderson.
Yes, it is. Yeah, not me personally, but yeah, Tom Henderson himself. On a now terminated Twitter, user outlined the game's huge destructibility, weather events, and more. Unfortunately, those details did not come to fruition. It wasn't until a couple of months after the game's launch that it was learned that those details were from internal pitches of the game, which panned Battlefield 2042 in a different light and is likely one of those many iterations that Bowden mentions. Originally believed to be a battle royale, Battlefield 2042 changed direction multiple times during its development. Internal documents from a year before release showed the game in a different light too, with major weather events, including tsunamis, so many volcanoes erupting and so forth.
There is a tornado, but it's really just not at
Dude,
all.
it's in the distance. It's not in the game. It's just, you see it out in the horizon. I'm like, hey, that looks cool.
Oh, I think I've played one where it did come across the map, but it really wasn't. I was in a jet and it was very unaffected somehow by it, which is contrary to anybody's experience in the air. But
yeah,
it's so unfortunate to see the destructibility, because that was a thing that was really, really heavily pushed in Bad Company. Must have been Bad Company 1 and 2, where you could cut a whole forest down if you wanted to, break apart any of the buildings. And then in 4, it had very large destructibility. So you conquer the apartment building, whatever it is, big business district, and it'll break. The tower will fall and crash to the ground, changing the entire map. I've seen videos of that put together in 2042, but I've never actually seen that in the game itself. I don't think it ever actually made it. And that's such a huge detail, which is, again, baffling. How do you forget these giant details of what makes Battlefield Battlefield? And then just, I'm so upset.
Well, and I know how disappointed you are, and Kyle is as well. The tornado is in the game a lot, just no destructibility, says Kyle. And it is one of those things that there's so much destruction known in the world of the Battlefield franchise that why isn't it here and taking effect in the map? Like, that having a skyscraper fall could change the whole outcome of the battle, right? When you're in this game. Why wouldn't there be something like that you've been known for over at DICE in the first place? It's just...
I'm thinking of Battlefield 1 even. You get the air assaults happening. The big blimp comes down out of the sky and crashes and makes a mess. And it's just... Every Battlefield game has had something like that. And this is just such a big miss in almost every capacity.
So they keep iterating with new updates and patches and stuff. Scott, can they bring it back? Is there enough, or should we just move on to a new Battlefield altogether?
It has gotten much better. It's not the disappointment that it once was. It is a functional game. You can get in there and have fun. I think they're going to rush to a new Battlefield, and I don't believe it's going to be a near future anymore. I don't think that's going to work out.
That's disappointing. But here, I do have some good news, Scott. Are you ready for this? Here it comes. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 has been announced for you, buddy. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharge will launch with over 130 vehicles, including a debut of motorcycles and ATVs. So look for that one, Scott. Absolutely. Very cool. Dude, I missed the release date on that one.
Am I going to be a little Hot Wheels guy on top of a little motorcycle? That's cool.
That's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We do have a couple games and more releases today. What do we have?
We have an announcement of apocalyptic farming adventure, No Place Like Home. It will be releasing on the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X and S on July 28th. That is a reuse, recycle, rebuild a better world. I like the sounds of that. We also have Scarf has been announced to come to the Xbox One, Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and 5 on July 6th. And myself and Steve had played that, I believe, on PC in early access. That was a bit of fun. Looking forward to that. We have a full release of Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection on the Nintendo Switch and PC. Killer Frequency is on Xbox One, XS, the Meta Quest, PlayStation 4, 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Skatebird is on PlayStation 4 and 5, and I'm very curious.
I've seen Skatebird around for quite some time. I'll see what we can do to maybe get in on a review for that one. It is, yeah, you're a bird. What can I say on a skateboard? Does look like a ton of fun. Scott, what are you playing lately right now?
Oh, I need to get back into some Zelda. We
Yep.
talked about that because I'm far behind on my progress. But just like Red Dead Redemption, though, you start off in one direction and you never make it there.
Dude, I'm doing a lot of walking in Zelda right now. So here's my Zelda routine. I get up, I make a coffee, I grab my Switch, and I'm playing Zelda. I go to bed at night, I'm playing Zelda. Normally, some point in the afternoon, I'm playing Zelda. Like it's just like it keeps coming back, man. I'm like,
it's a nice, comfortable offhand. I've been finding it.
Yes, from everything else we're kind of into and out of kind of thing, it is one of those. I'm just gonna sit back and I'm just gonna go and explore, and then away I go, right? And then it just keeps kind of. You never know where you're gonna land. Sometimes I'm in a cave, or right now I'm in the snowy mountains, and I'm just trying to make it to the other side. But I spent yesterday, no word of a lie, dude. I spent half an hour climbing up a mountain to fall, to climb up the mountain again, to fall again. But then I found another path that actually got myself up to where I needed to be, and then I was able to open the map. Oh man, it's just one of those things.
I always find it out, and it's so simple. It was right there the whole time. I'm trying to climb the map like it's Skyrim.
Absolutely. And everything else is so simple because we'll be back once again tomorrow. This has been ITG Daily, where we bring you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.